So, good morning and good evening. Welcome to the Circle of Harmony, where we have been exploring the topic death for the last couple of weeks. I think we've had 3 sessions on death and different aspects.
This is the third one, no, I think.
I think this is the
Or
fourth
this is
one.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, any reflections, anything, Cyrus, that you would want to share before we move forward? Anything we've read, discussed, you thought about? Something that puzzles you or you would like to share?
I mean, to be honest, similar to what we had discussed, maybe 2 or 3 weeks back, and those really have stuck on, where we, these same lines actually, wherein we, you know, in the sense that we are next in line. I mean, so don't take things so seriously, and that's how I have kind of taken
Yeah.
the whole thing.
You're talking about
And
stuff here.
unfortunately, during the last 2 weeks, there have been unfortunate incidents also. Of course, mainly due to old age of relatives of my friends' parents. Two of them, my uncle in Australia, he also had a stroke. So it's been, and then I don't know. It's very strange that feeling, when I don't know how to explain it. When that comes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just you think that I guess we all go through it, that wish we had spent more time, or wish we had spoken about while they were still there. That always hits us. That
Hmm.
we could have done little more.
Hmm.
So that is something I reflected on. Recently, I think.
Hmm. Yeah. So, Cyrus, one thing is a smaller picture, right? Like something that's happening to me and I'm reacting to it, no? And the other
Right.
is kind of a big picture. Like if you are stepping back right now, you're closing your eyes, you're stepping back, and you look at the way life is, right? Like they say that, the moment you're born, you are kind of breathing towards your death, right? You're just going towards your death, right? That's what they say, that you
Right.
come with an expiration date, right? So
Correct.
some, like if we say we buy toys, we buy gadgets, we know that, yeah, there is warranty and there is guarantee and all, and yet this fridge, this phone, this laptop might last 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and then, right, like it will have to be gone. And if it doesn't die on
Right.
its own, I'll have to trash it, recycle it, right?
Right.
So that is the nature of existence right now, right? Like death is a reality right now, and whatever is born right now, I'm saying right now because of course, in integral yoga, Mother and Sri Aurobindo talks about immortality or how, right, that there will be command on death as well, which wasn't there initially.
Right.
So if I look at it, do you think, like, say, for example, you must have seen that गीता का जो एक विकाल रूप बहुत बार दिखाते हैं, right? That from one side people are going in and the other side people are coming out.
Right.
Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about, right? Right, let me
I didn't. Probably I didn't. Yeah.
when Krishna on the battlefield, when he was talking to Arjuna, and so when Arjuna was saying that I don't want to kill, so then
Right.
Krishna had shown him that roop, right? That when he was saying, where everything was happening by itself, like people were getting born, they were dying, and all everything was coming in and out of Krishna. So then he
Right.
said, okay, and do you think you kill? Right? Like that was kind of the essence.
Yeah. I
So,
probably missed that. I didn't see that. But I guess I may have
okay,
missed
okay.
that session.
No, no, no. It wasn't in my session. I'm talking about in Gita, in
Okay.
Mahabharat.
Yeah. But
When,
yeah. But I haven't seen that particular thing. Yeah. I guess.
okay, okay,
But I
yeah.
get what
So,
you're saying. Yeah.
right, like how there is no us in it. Like everything is happening by itself, and the creation, right? The creation is giving birth, the creation is taking us back, right?
Right.
So from that aspect, if I'm calling death an unfortunate incident, then I have to call birth an unfortunate incident too, right?
Yes.
Because the moment I'm born, that is my certainty, right?
Correct.
So if I'm calling birth a very good thing, oh wow, right? Say a friend of mine had a baby. But
Right.
if I'm saying, okay, my uncle, he's, at that age and he might expire, or somebody else is facing some disease or death, and I call that unfortunate, then that means I am being a bit not honest, right? I'm being a bit diplomatic. When it's up to me, when I'm gaining something, I say very good, very good. When I'm losing the same thing, I say very bad, very bad. So I'll have to change one of those things to be honest, you know?
Right. But I guess that's the nature, our nature. I mean, especially, on the second part, as far as death goes, you just don't want to lose, anyone close, So, um,
Yeah, and when I say that this is the nature, then I'm
right.
basically selling myself short. Do you see that? Like, I am more than nature, right? The
Correct.
fact that we are here, we are talking, we are trying to better our lives, we are trying to choose the higher things, right? If
Yes.
it hurts and we are feeling the hurt and we are saying, I don't want to hurt anymore, it's too hard, right? And if I'm
Yeah.
trying to get over that, say, what did Buddha do, right? He saw death, he saw old age, he saw, right, like somebody dying, somebody sick, somebody old, and he was like, oh my God, no, 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 I can't do this. Tell me the way out, you know? And while the
Right.
rest of us, we look at old age, we look at death, we say, oh, this is all natural, no? And that's why we are here and he was there. So yes, this is nature, but I am more than nature, right? So the moment I say, but this is natural, I am selling myself short. I am saying that अब मेरे ऊपर नहीं है ये चीज, right? ये तो नेचर का है. मैं क्या करूं, मैं बेचारा, मैं छोटा, मेरा तो इतना ही स्कोप है ना?
Correct.
So knowing that this is the excuse that I use to stay where I am. I must stop saying this if I actually want to progress or take the higher route. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm confusing you,
No,
but
no. You're not actually.
yeah. I'm saying that if I want to be honest, and if I like honesty, I'll have to either call birth an unfortunate incident too, or I have to stop calling death an unfortunate incident because, yes, it appears to be, and yet, if I use reason, right, it's not, I mean, it appears to be, of course, that is the truth, right? That's why the topic, that's why so many sessions, and one of the biggest fears that we have is of death. So it's not that you're saying something wrong, but I'm saying that maybe it's time that we look at things from a different lens, a more expanded lens, a more reasonable lens, right? Because we are
Right.
here for expansion. So for expansion, I mean, if I want to be more, like if I'm just holding this much and I want to say I want to make my grass bigger. So first I'll have to leave this, right? I can't make it bigger while I'm still holding on to it, na?
Correct.
So this is what we do. We say, yeah, this is what I think, this is nature. अब मैं इसके बाहर कैसे जाऊं, है ना? बट इसके बाहर जाना है तो छोड़ना तो पड़ेगा ही.
Right.
Yeah, because I am more than nature. So knowing that, I'll have to let go and expand a little bit. Yeah.
And even that you can just show that it was really nice. I mean, that second part, the one you had shared,
This thing.
the same one, I guess, the this part till death disease comes as a root shock.
Mm.
So I mean, it's really true, that first passage because till something comes, you're always, you really not, you really don't think about it, right? I mean, and I, I mean, that sometimes go through my brain, like I said, recently there have been these incidents and all, someone very young at 50 had lung cancer, so, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but it's exactly what I'm thinking, this way till it comes, you're in your own space. And then when it comes, probably it's too late and you realize that there's so much left that I should have done or I could have done.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to look to correct, in some way that, um, I do add to that, to-do list, and I'm trying to work, so I know last time you said that it should not be only that, but somewhere I feel that it's somewhere, my responsibility to, you know, close on few things, rather than keep things open. I don't
Yeah.
know if you're getting.
No, no, I'm absolutely getting you, Sairaj. Absolutely. But here, again, I see a pattern and I might be wrong, but that's what I usually see. See, something happens, right? Say somebody close to me is on the verge and everything. And suddenly I
Right.
realize that, oh my God, I should have done this, I should have done that. And that's not
Correct.
even for death. Say I visit India, for example, right? Like, and I am there for, I don't know, unlimited time, 2 months, 3 months, and life goes
Right.
very normal. And the moment I tell my siblings that, oh, I'm going back after 3 days, suddenly suddenly there'll be an uproar and they'll be like, oh my God, we have to do this, we have to do that, we didn't do this,
Right.
right? So, and then we're like, but how do we do it? There's so less time. So the thing is,
Correct.
we were comfortable with it before. Why do we have to make a bigger than life thing just because something is ending, na?
Hmm.
तो एक तो यही चीज है कि me realizing that I am honestly okay without it, because if I was not, I would have been doing it every day. And what I feel
Right.
is, what I was saying was that when I get a joy, when I get a knock, suddenly I'm like, oh my God, I should have done this, I should have done that. Then that
Correct.
incident passes and I go back to square one. It's not
Right.
that, okay, if I have 10 people that I'm close to, for example, one of them passes and then that gives me the lesson that I should have done better. But then it's not that I am more available to the other nine. Mostly it's not. Life kicks in, I go back into my groove, till another one passes, and again I feel shocked that maybe for 2 months I am, or 5 months or 8 months I am in shock, and then I go back to my own groove. So that knocking
Right.
also doesn't last long. So if anything I can learn, I think it must be that what do I change, right? How do I not be here again and again that I wish I could have done better? How can I not be here? Do better, right? And once you start doing better, you would not feel that grudge, yeah? You won't feel that.
Sorry, I didn't get that. When you said doing better in the sense.
Say, for example, you shared that somebody is not well and you got a shock and you said, I wish I had done better, right? I wish I'd spent
Correct.
more time, said
Right.
this,
Yeah.
said that, right? But then after that incident is over, I go back. It's not that the rest of the people that I love, for example, if I'm just talking about me and my family, I am not better available to them. I'm not more
Correct.
gracious, more open, more compassionate. I am
Yeah, but
myself. You know?
yeah, sorry to stop you there, but shouldn't that be, I mean, something as a learning that we should do, or one should, or you're saying it should just be a natural process?
No, no, I'm saying we
Whatever.
must do that, but we
Yeah.
don't. We must do
Correct.
that.
Correct. Which we don't. Like you said, it just you go back to your routine again. So how do
Yes.
you kind of, how does one make even more efforts on that? I mean, I know it's a very difficult and question as such, but
How
how
does
does one?
they, in the sense, see, if I feel that if somebody is going or gone and I feel I should have been more available, then one must ask the question that, am I more available to the ones that are still living
Who are
now?
present? Correct.
Right? And if the answer is
Right.
no, then one has to say, okay, how do I do it? Right? How do I take out more time? So if one is able to have that conversation with oneself, okay, these are the 8 people that I want to spend more time with. How do I do it? And if I'm not able to do it, and if one of them passes on or if something happens, and again that thought comes, I should have, then I know I tried, I couldn't. right?
Right.
It sounds like I should have, or it sounds very glorified, but I just couldn't. मेरे को
Hmm.
वो priority नहीं थी, तो ये कहीं पे कोई honesty आ जाती है, right? So either I
Correct.
am able to take out some time, or I'm not able to take out some time, but at least I'm being honest, na? It's not कि, oh, I wish, I wish, I wish. Because that
Correct.
wish never comes, right? Practically,
Right.
if life is remaining the same,
Right. Absolutely.
mm,
I think few more people have joined.
yeah, yeah. So there are too many, honestly, dishonesties in our lives. It's like when my brother passed on, his children were really like one of them was just born after some time, and the girl was very little. So I was interacting with someone, and they were like that. I look at the little girl, and my heart goes out to her that iska hoga kya, iska hoga kya, yeah. How would he get the father's love? So I was like, okay, this is such a great thought. And what do you do about it? Like, have you spent some time with her? And he was like, no. And I was like, that if you're feeling that she should have, more love in her life, what have you done? And he's like, nothing. So, it's like, this
Right.
is our truth, right? We just like
Correct.
to feel sorry. We like to feel
Yeah.
bad. We like to
Absolutely.
complain.
Correct.
But practically, we don't like to do things because usme I have to make an effort, right? It's easier to just
Correct.
say that, oh my God, God is mean, life is crazy, people are selfish, and pass on and
Absolutely
just,
right. You're absolutely right on that. You hear that a lot, but like they say, action is louder than words. I mean,
yeah,
prime example of that. When you actually make small efforts to do, small things, that can go a long way rather than, only talking. So yeah, I mean, I agree. You hear this a lot, especially with young kids. You hear people talking like that.
yeah. But if I'm that honest, so from next time, either when I'm saying these sentences, I can stop myself and say, you say this, but you don't do this, so you can stop saying this. We can be honest, right? We really are okay with ourselves. Whatever time we spend with them, that's enough for me. So I don't have to feel bad about it. है ना? मतलब honesty at any level. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's just honesty is honesty. तो कहीं पे तो honesty दिखाएं, है ना? Actions में या words में. Yeah. Okay. So we are just warming up into the thing. So yeah, so welcome. And Cyrus and I had started the conversation, and yeah. So I had just asked, because we had had like 3 sessions already. So I had just asked that if there's anybody who had any thought, any reflection, any question on anything we had seen, read, if we would like to share anything before we look at more things. The topic is again, death. We're just trying to understand our approach towards it, or how we take it. What does it mean? What can it mean? Okay. So last time we had ended on we watched a small poem. It was very beautiful, so we didn't get time to discuss it, but that's how we had ended. So I'll just share it again, and maybe we can look at it, and if there's any reflections, we can take it. So it's titled How Did You Die? So it's, yeah, so I'll play that. If you can't hear it, please let me know.
Did you tackle that trouble that came your way with a resolute heart and cheerful? Or hide your face from the light of day with a craven soul and fearful? Oh, a trouble's a ton, or a trouble's an ounce. or trouble is what you make it. And it isn't the fact that you're hurt that counts, but only how did you take it. You are beaten to earth? Well, what's that? Come up with a smiling face. It's nothing against you to fall down flat. But to lie there, that's disgrace. The hotter you're thrown, why the higher you bounce. Be proud of your blackened eye. It isn't the fact that you're licked that counts. It's how did you fight and why. And though you be done to the death, what then? If you battled the best you could, if you played your part in the world of men, why, the critic will call it good. Death comes with a crawl, or comes with a pounce. And whether he's slow or spry, it isn't the fact that you're dead that counts, but only how did you die.
Yeah, so we had seen this last time. That's how we had ended. And where he says that it's, how did you die, the last sentence? It just feels that he's saying, how did you die? But the real question here is, how did I live, right? Like we keep talking about death, right? Like not often, but when we talk about death, it's about how it ended, how it will end. But the most important thing is, but is it teaching me to live more, right? Is it teaching me to live loud? It is teaching me to live while I'm still alive. So if I truly want to honor a death, or if I truly believe that, okay, I'll die and everything will end, the question is, am I living while I'm living? I know it sounds cliche, or it's maybe just something that we have heard and we don't know how to do it. I mean, what to do about it. But it's a very simple thing, because a lot of times my life, I live as if it's not important. It's as if it will be there forever. I take things for granted. I take people for granted. I take myself for granted. I take my blessings for granted. So if I truly want to contemplate on death, I cannot escape the fact that what am I doing with my life? Yeah, and he's like welcoming more reflections. It's a very beautiful poem. We can go over the words also once, just to reflect on it so that we don't miss it. So anybody who would want to talk about this or anything else, here it's like again how, either we are fearful or we are facing the light of the day. It's kind of, it's very motivating. It shakes, right? Something in us that what are we doing? How are we living? This one is really beautiful, right? We do keep getting challenge after challenge, right? Troubles done or troubles announced. So trouble is what you make it. Like it's up to me how I'm taking my challenges. And we all get hurt, we all suffer, we all get pain. But how am I able to take it? Like, oh, it's painful, oh, it's sad, and I just go and cry or someplace. Or am I taking things, the bull by its horn and saying that, yes, it is a certainty, but I will live while I am still alive. Again, not just saying, I mean, I wish we can truly do that. We all, again, fall down, right? But a lot of us, we keep lying there. It's because there's something, some solace we feel in lying down. There's something in me which feels it's healing when I'm just lying down, when I'm hurt. And yet we know that, even if I'm lying down, that's fine. We all need breathers. But knowing that I will have to get up, I mean, that's the only way. I can't keep lying down. Yeah, be proud of the blackened eye, the hurts, the challenges, the pains, the suffering. And we know that the harder we are thrown, the higher we bounce. How you fight and why, right? Like, what am I fighting for? What am I living for? What am I doing in my life? Is it just all about me? Or is it offered? Is it, you know, including a bigger arc? Yeah, I guess that's about it. Any reflections on this are welcome.
It was really nice. I mean, that whole passage, really lovely. I would love to, see it again post the session. Thanks.
Anything in specific that caught your attention, Cyrus?
The last, I mean, what you just passed through, right? I mean, you mentioned about
Yeah.
either you kind of face your challenges. It's, you have a choice, right? I mean,
Hmm.
and about the trouble, yeah,
Yeah, the trouble one. Yeah.
troubles. I mean, in the sense that we all have them, right? I mean, it's how you face them, right? Sometimes, yeah, sorry, yeah, you okay? Yeah. No, I said it's just how we face them is what I was saying. Either we, face them head on, or you kind of go the other way, so. And then all these count, right? At the end of the day, when the years pass by, I mean, these are things that come back to you at some point, and rather than reflecting that I should have done this, I should have, it's better to face the challenges the way you should. Many times we take a step back and not face it as we should. So yeah, that is what I would.
And like, if I can think of 100 times when I haven't faced it well or didn't face it well, all that doesn't matter at all, right? It's gone. So it's all about, what do I do with it now? What do I do with it now, right? Like, how they say the mother, she doesn't look at our mistakes. She looks at our possibilities. So it's always about, moving forward, moving forward. And I was listening to some talk by Alok Da, and he was like that, because it's not us doing the yoga, it's Sri Aurobindo and the mother. Otherwise, so there is no hope. And because they know that they are doing it, there is like hope and hope and hope and hope. We have to remember this, that always forward, and there is a force that guiding us. Yes, Cyrus.
No, that's it. I mean, that's what I wanted to mention. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Nandini, please, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I watched this documentary just a few days ago, and really was really touching about the 7 blue zones where people live up to 100 years, centenarians. There's 7 blue zones that have been identified. Okinawa in Japan, that's quite prominent. Then there is Sardinia in Italy. There's one in Greece, like 7 places where largest number of centenarians. It was very intriguing that why people are living so long, and there was exploration, and there were many reasons which are quite interesting. But there was one commonality that I found amongst everything was this idea of ikigai. We must have heard about this, our life's mission. Even in Gita, we have Swadharma, this very beautiful shloka in chapter 3, if I'm not wrong, where Krishna says that it is better to die doing your Swadharma rather than doing something, living a life, long and miserable life, doing something which is not your Swadharma. So it is very important to identify it and living that. And that was something that was, the center of these 7 blue zones, the Ikigai. And in Costa Rica, it was Plan de Viva, plan of life. So there was the same thing. but it was said in different things. In French, I think it's raison d'être, reason of being. So I think when you and I think Cyrus was talking about this life that how we will die depends on how we will live, but how we will live is about, I was thinking that death can only become beautiful if we really live as Swadharma, and for that we have to find it. And I think, yeah, so I wanted to focus on that, like, and I've seen, like, even if I see mother, I always feel that even I know she was a divine mother, but for me, it really helps me to see it as a physical, somebody, a divine form which has made this sacrifice into the human body to show us our capability, what can be done, and what she has done can be done by us too. So like if mother says that, mother was doing something, obviously even I can do it. I never see, oh, she's a divine mother, hence she can do. I feel, oh, I am a daughter, I have to cultivate it. So if she could play tennis at the age of 80, then I too can do it. If she could, form, and not from an egoistic sense, but we all, not I in the sense that we all can do it. We have that capability. She could, at the age of 90, she think of founding Auroville. When most people think it's time to die, then we all could do it as well. And it gives me so much thrill to think that, imagine if life could be lived like that. Of course, we talked about we fall and there'll be this thing. Cyrus was talking about the challenges, but like how everything will not matter if we have our ikigai with us, isn't it? And death will be wonderful too. And in that, the man, 96 years old in Japan, in Okinawa, he was still making the musical instruments. So that was his, and the one who was taking the interview, David, I think, who was doing the research, and he asked that, like, why are you doing it? People at the age of 60, like in America at 62, they just want to retire, and you're still working at the age of 96. Like, why don't you rest now and just and stop? And he says, but how can I do it? It's my ikigai. And this is something that this is going to stay after I go. So I have to do it. I have to do it beautifully. And I think if we live with that feeling, that, that the mission or whatever you want to say, then we don't have to fear death. Like mother says, you should neither fear death nor want it. And to live in that space where I'm not afraid of it. If it will come, but I'm not wanting it to, because I am here to fulfill my ikigai. So I just want to say that then it doesn't matter death or life. We just focused on that. But of course, I know there are many challenges. But yeah, if we just keep thinking about it, and it comes to us if we really want it. But the only problem again is, I think, we want comfort, but you can't have comfort then. You can't have rest.
Thank you, Nandini. Yeah. On the same note, I had mentioned that there's this beautiful, again, another poem by, who is it by, Dushyant Kumar. So I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I had mentioned last time that I'll be discussing this, like I'll be sharing this. I find it very, very, very motivating. So it's for someone who wants to change things now, right? Like, because a lot of us, we are very okay in our groove. Comfort is enough. But when it feels that no, comfort is fine, there or not there, but what am I here for? What do I do? So then something like this really, 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 hit me hard when I came across it maybe, I don't know, 6, 7 years back. So just if anybody is willing to, if I can request, I just Sujata ji, if she has the capacity, if she wants to unmute and read it for us. Each sentence is very powerful. Yeah.
Okay, I'll read it
Thank
to
you.
the best of my ability.
Yeah, wait, just go slow and everything is good.
हाँ ठीक है। हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी पिघलने चाहिए, हो गई है पीर पर्वत सी पिघलनी चाहिए, इस हिमालय से कोई गंगा निकलनी चाहिए। आज ये दीवार पर्दों की तरह हिलने लगी, शर्त लेकिन थी कि ये बुनियाद हिलनी चाहिए। हर सड़क पर, हर गली में, हर नगर, हर गांव में हाथ लहराते हुए हर लाश चलनी चाहिए। सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं, सारी कोशिश है कि ये सूरत बदलनी चाहिए। मेरे सीने में नहीं तो तेरे सीने में सही, हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए। दुष्यंत कुमार। काव्य पाठ विनोद तिवारी।
Thank you so much. It's about like, again, if we have done that enough, if we have seen enough, if we have heard enough, maybe it's now time to do something, right? Like Ganga is very concrete. कि हो गई है pir is pain, right? Parvat sea, like so big, and now it has to melt. What will be the end of this mountain of pain? And this Himalaya, the highest peak, with Ganga. Ganga again signifies purity and movement and life. Nikalni chahiye. And of course, I'm just saying some things that are coming to me. There would be so many more interpretations. So a lot of things, right? Like आज ये दीवार पर्दों की तरह हिलने लगी. So the walls around me today are moving like as if they were curtains. So what is the definition of a divar, of a wall? It's hard, right? It's immovable. It's there. It will not break. But although I'm saying that this wall is now moving like curtains, that's also not enough. Because what is he saying? Shart lekin thi. Because the condition was that bunyad hilni chahiye, that this ground that I am standing on should be able to move, not just the walls around me, the ground I'm standing on. So again, it talks about honesty and purity, right? I say a lot of things, but most of those things remain till the entertainment level. And if I want things to mean more, if I want my life to change, if I want to make something out of it, then just the walls moving would not be enough. And how beautiful it is, because when we read this, आज ये दीवार पर्दों की तरह हिलने लगी, it feels a lot has already happened. कि दीवार देखो कर्टन की तरह हिल रही है, but he's saying no, no, no. The condition was that you have to change the bunyad, the what you are made of. Cyrus, when we were discussing and you said, but this is nature, right? That's natural. So then this
Right.
is what we are talking about, right? That no, you're not nature. You have to shake, you have to move the ground, the patterns, the habits, the thoughts that we think we are made of, what we are standing on, it has to shake, right? How beautiful is this? So yeah, so moving on, हर सड़क पर, हर गली में, हर नगर, हर गांव में हाथ लहराते हुए हर लाश चलनी चाहिए. Lash signifying that we live like we are dead, right? We're just living patterns. We are just living just expectations and culture. Okay, at this age you have to do this. At this age you have to do this. These are the check marks. These are the tick marks. These are the brownie points. And what he is wishing is that everywhere, in every village, every dead body that's living, uska haath hil raha ho, as in that's also protesting that no, won't do. There's more, there's this, whatever, like fighting, living for whatever mission there is. सिर्फ हंगामा खड़ा करना मेरा मकसद नहीं. This is really important, especially in today's time and age. It appears that lot of times we are doing this just to create a stir, right? Nothing moves, nothing changes. Just badi baatein karke we just move on and we are living the same lives. But he's saying that hangama, as in, I just don't have to create a stir. That's not what my purpose is. सारी कोशिश है ये कि सूरत बदलनी चाहिए, कि what I'm looking at, what I am, That should change. Otherwise, what will a stir a hangama do? Nothing. Just get some media coverage, and I don't know. This is reminding me of all that thing that happened in JNU campus in India a few years back. So much about. I don't even want to go there, but yeah, because a lot of us right now, a lot of our society is geared towards making news. That doesn't change anything. And the last one, मेरे सीने में नहीं तो तेरे सीने में सही हो कहीं भी आग लेकिन आग जलनी चाहिए. Again, signifying that we don't have to live like we are already dead. There has to be a passion and fires of I don't know wills and things that needs to be done. Yeah, a very small reflection on this beautiful, deep poem, and welcoming any reflections or comments, anything that we resonate with. It's just about movement, right? That I need to do better, I can do better, and I must do better. Like Nandini was talking about comfort, right? And Khalil Gibran, he says that comfort kills the passion of the soul. It is true. If I've seen that, let me not choose it again and again and again, because it comes up again and again and again. Yeah.
I just had one question actually. I mean, many of these things, come to the same point where it says that you have to do something. You have to, like you said, shake, move yourself. But, that first step, even personally speaking, I found that difficult, it's easier said than done. I feel these kind of things, that do it, or like you said, comfort kills passion, which is also, all these are true things, but for someone, who, wants to make that effort or change and it's not happening, I'm speaking about myself, for example, I may want to do so much more and it's not happening, so, and I know, I mean, these things I know, yes, I would like to, but so if you can help me or suggest something, that will be nice, I mean, what are those few first steps, because it just starts from there and then maybe it could be better, but
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody would want to share some from their experience before I say what comes to me? I'm sure we all struggle with this. And although you're saying you don't, I mean, there are some aspects in your life where you would have already done that, and yet there are other aspects in which we just do not make that shift because of the comfort, the convenience, the patterns, and all. Yeah.
I was just thinking when Sarah was speaking that if we want, like, something I have realized, especially in last few weeks as well, that when I say I want, like, small things, like getting up early in the morning, or not eating after 7, for the longest time I always thought I want, but last few weeks I've realized that I have lied to myself. I really don't want. A part of me doesn't want. And in these sessions we've discussed about that, how we're not just one but different various parts of our being, and the only thing that I can really do is keep aspiring, like you said, you want, and I think just let it be there. Ramdas also talks about it, about being in that space where you're not sure, you want to do things but you can't, but just being there patiently with that aspiration and let it work in you. His article is really beautiful, and things happen, way is made, but we just have to aspire. So I think aspiration, and Mother of course talks about it, and then sincerity, because sincerity would mean that, do I really want to do it? Because sometimes I would say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I keep saying I want, but when opportunities do come, and they always come, I would always have excuses. Oh, but I have this, but I have that. For example, I would say, I want to really be there for people, who need me. But then there'll be people who'll be reaching out to me and I would be saying, oh God, I have to complete my chapter, or I have to clean. Now I'm going to work today. What do I, and then I would say, my God, but I only wanted it. So we're not really sincere. So I think aspiration and sincerity are the two keys. That first of all, let aspiration be there. Like for example, for myself, like it's that just once I know that I want to do this, and again, like realizing what not everybody can serve through intellect, right? It depends. It will depend on your, that also is important. Your temperament. Somebody are activists like Kshatriya. They are like that. They have that. Some people are Brahmins. They will, do the through intellect. They are very good. Some people are Shudras. They're very good in service. So we have to realize how would we like to offer our services through intellect, through activism, through service, through business, like collaborations and different things. And once we know that, this is something that I would like to, this is the gift that I have unique in myself and I would like to offer, let it be there. Just keep saying to the universe. If you have somebody, like for me, it's the mother, I always keep saying to her. And then I would myself realize that she keep giving. And then I say, Mother, I'm not even sincere. You give me opportunities and I'm not able to do it. So have sincerity. So I think for me, yeah, that's what I would say. Aspiration and sincerity, two things. And everything else takes care of it. Because too much, if I start pushing and I've realized myself as well, then it's all out of ego. Because I don't do, then this thing that I am the doer. That becomes such strong. I am doing the service because I'm pushing so hard. But if I don't, even if it doesn't happen, even if I don't do anything, even if I don't organize sessions, I'm just working on myself, I'm just invoking her presence, I'm just being there with this aspiration that I know you will give me the chance. Then when that opportunity comes, even if it's long, then there is no ownership of it, that, oh, I did it. Look, I did. So I think that is also, I feel, from my own experience. But yeah, other people can share.
Thanks for that.
Yes, thank you, Nandini. I think one thing that really I also very strongly resonate is usually when I'm not able to do something, there's something in me which is not convinced it needs to happen. Like I'm saying things, but there's some part of me, a big part of me, which is like, iske bina ho raha hai na, so what's the point? I remember once in a session, somebody had asked Sunmala that, I want to wake up early and I'm not able to. Can you please help me? What do I do? And she had said that, if I were to tell you that if you don't wake up early, any day you don't wake up early, you will die. Is it possible that you don't wake up early? And she was so shocked and she was like, no. So it's like we don't take things, we don't give them the regard, we don't value time, we don't value ourselves, we take things too lightly. This is very visible, although we will not admit it to ourselves. I mean, if we do wake up, we really like it, right? And yet next morning we are having the same struggle that, okay, this late, that late. So there's some dishonesty, there's some insincerity, and that is all right. We all have that. But again comes the role of aspirations of prayer that, okay, if I see this is good for me and I'm not able to realize it, am I actively at least aspiring for it? Am I wanting it? चाहे actions में ना आ रहा हो, but कहाँ से मेरे को हो रहा है कि मैं, what am I doing about it, right? Because anything that I want, I do a lot about it. I do a lot about it. If I'm convinced, like, when we are convinced about the education system we have, so no matter how much it takes, what people do to put their kids in, say, highly rated schools and all, it's just crazy. They change homes, they change cities, because they are convinced, right? So I think if it's not happening, I must ask myself if I am actually wanting to do it. Because if I'm wanting to do it, where am I making that effort? Because effort ke bina hoga nahi. Because usually we, fall in some grooves, and when we have to make a new path, initially it takes an effort, and then that path becomes, the path more traveled, and that becomes natural for us. Yeah.
I have a friend here, quite young, 35, 36, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer last year. So it was very traumatic for her, of course, and we're there together. I've seen her journey. And now she came back. She's from Turkey. She went back, and recently she came back after all her treatment. But now when I see her, she's a completely different person. And one of the discussions I was having, and some of the things that were quite used to smoke, now that's gone. And smoking is an addiction, and it's very hard. And she gets up morning and she does things. And I was really impressed by it. And I asked her how did it happen? Like in a few months, 7, 8 months, so much change. Like for me, it takes years sometimes to change even a single habit. And what she told me was like it touched me so deeply, and I thought so beautiful. And she said, when I was undergoing that suffering, that intense pain of being diagnosed, and the treatment itself is very harsh, and she said nothing helped. My cigarettes didn't help me. The friends that I have made didn't help me. The money that was in my bank account was not able to help me. And that was the time that I really realized, it was a time to really look, like everything came in front of my eyes, and to review that nothing, what is it, what I have gathered. And of course I encourage her to chant and do meditation, and she started doing that as well. And she said, only those things, that came from the spirit really helped me, like meditation, positive affirmations, and all of those things that she did, journaling. And that's it. I have just seen it through experience. And that was so true, that she has seen that all these things, the comforts that we think that we cannot live without, our family members that we think, our children, our spouse, our parents that we think are our securities, when the ground takes away with such big suffering, that nothing helps. And then you realize that, like Pema Chodron says, that we keep investing, we keep trying to find strength in the places that actually weakens us. So I think that was also from her talk was really good, that to see it really, when life gives us that opportunity, when suffering really becomes grace, that you see it, that nothing will actually help. It's all hollow, shallow, that what I'm doing, my life is wasting really every second of it. And then once we see it, then clarity comes and the courage comes that, okay, now let's do what we have to do. And that's why people who are really single-minded are either they have done it in their previous life and born with it, like Jetsun Mala, or people who in this lifetime make a U-turn, they undergo it. The intense suffering changes them completely. They take a U-turn. Again, there's somebody told me in ashram, I think I heard it from my father, somebody else, who said that माँ ने मेरा कंधा पकड़ के मोड़ दिया मुझे. So I think that was very beautiful.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. So, actually, it comes back to the same point we discussed, right? I mean, that, see, your friend also got a jolt and then things changed, right? So, my question was again that, see, we don't have that jolt, but I still want to make that. I got whatever you said about even sincerity and aspiration, but you see these examples time and again, when they are jolted, right? Then you start. But I would rather, without this jolt, make that effort and start with what I'm trying to seek help on. That's what I was coming to.
Yes, Iris, absolutely. And I think she answered that also, because see, say in our education and all these days, case studies are very big, right? Learn from case studies, do this case study, do that case study. What is a case study? Case studies, I don't have to be in that situation, but I'm learning the lesson what has to be learned, right? I remember in
Right.
one of the talks, Acharya Prashant, somebody was saying that I want to do this, I want to do this, I'm not able to do this. तो आचार्य जी said that, see, या फिर तो तुम खुद कर लो, या फिर तो वेट करो बिजली गिरेगी. और जब बिजली गिरेगी, then nature is not kind. You might just pass and then you would have to do it in another birth, or you might suffer, or you might be half available, half gone. So then don't expect kindness or compassion. तो या फिर तो अगर समझ आ रहा है, करना है तो कर लो, because God doesn't want to give lightning strikes. But what does he do? If we don't move without jaws, he gives us jaws, and those jaws are in compassion. Although they appear to be very uncompassionate or unkind, right? So it's such a beautiful thought that I don't want a jaws, but I want to wake up. So then the answer is then wake up, right? Then get up, move out from the bed, see what you have to do. So if you have to learn a language, right? But it's like क्या करूँगा सीख के क्या करना है types ना. But then you make a schedule, right? कि okay, I'll be devoting I don't know half an hour, 1 hour of my day, weekend पे 2 hours. मतलब जो भी aspiration है, जो भी एक aim है, picking it up and devoting some part of your time every day, every week to it, right? तो कहीं पे तो मुझे वो effort करना पड़ेगा ना. बिकॉज अगर मैं कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ तो फिर तो जॉय की ही वेट कर रहा हूँ, चाहे मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि मुझे जॉय चाहिए नहीं, है ना. और जॉय तो मुझे मिल ही रहे हैं, बट मैं उसमें जॉय हो रहा हूँ कि नहीं, दैट इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ दोज थिंग्स. सो ऑनेस्टी, सिंसेरिटी से मुझे देखना पड़ेगा कि इफ आई वांट समथिंग, हाउ मच ऑफ माय टाइम in 24 hours, for example, if I have a aim, if I have a goal, if I want to change, हाउ मच एम आई डिवोटिंग माई टाइम टू इट. खाली सोचने से तो नहीं होगा. सोचने से ऑब्वियसली आई कैन स्टार्ट, बट एम आई स्टार्टिंग? तो आई हैव टू लुक एट इट, एंड आई थिंक देन विद इफ अगर मेरी आंखों पे है, यू नो, इट्स लाइक आई कीप फॉरगेटिंग. आई से ओके समथिंग हैपेंस, आई से हाँ 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 आई डू इट, एंड देन आई कीप फॉरगेटिंग. सो फिर उससे होगा नहीं, है ना. बोलने से होगा नहीं, करके दिखाना पड़ेगा कि यू नो बातें मत करो, जीवन दिखाओ कैसा जी रहे हो वाला जो एक डायलॉग है, which is very true. Yeah. And I think this is kind of so much kindness to oneself, right? If one is saying, I don't want a joy and I want to progress, that is being so kind. So to align my practical life, my practices with it, I must make the effort. और otherwise नहीं करोगे तो, you know how, I don't know, I was listening to something from Mingyu Rinpoche, and he was sharing, and he said कि, you know, in my culture they say कि if milk, say you can either make, I don't know what is it, कि if milk is good you can make this from it, maybe some mithai or something, and if it goes bad you make cottage cheese. मतलब बन तो कुछ ना कुछ जाएगा ही. It's not that the life is going waste, but what you want to make of it, if I'm putting effort in it. It was nice the way he said it. Yeah. Yeah, anything else? So I actually did have more things, and I thought maybe we'll finish this today, and we also wanted to do this, you know, I had said we'll do this meditation, the dying meditation in Buddhism. I find it very interesting, but it's already 9. So there's a very short video. I think we can at least see that one, and then we'll see next week we have to take the same topic or not. Yeah, another thing, sorry, before that video, maybe we can end here. Last time, again, I had shared that there's a movie called About Time or something like this. Yeah, About Time. So in this, there is this guy who can time travel. Like something happens, but then he can go back and then he can relive that. So then he learns his lessons and does it better, does it better, does it better. So that was the end of the movie, in which he realized, he was sharing this, and he had stopped going back because what changed in him. So I just wanted to share that.
The truth is, I now don't travel back at all, not even for the day. I just try to live every day as if I've deliberately come back to this one day, to enjoy it, as if it was the full, final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life.
You know, basically how we take things for granted, right? When we have a day, like he had experienced, he would go through a day and then he would go back and correct the things he felt he could correct. And then he'll see more, and then he'll go back again and again, better correct, better correct. So that's how he was living his life. But then in the end of the movie, he shares this, that I don't go back anymore. You know, I give this day my 100%. Again, you know, it's like, या सुनने में अच्छा लगता है या बोलने में अच्छा लगता है, but why not? So he's again, how he shared that this extraordinary, ordinary day, I start giving it the importance it deserves. So I realize that I don't have to go back now, because if I'm giving it my full, what is there to go back for? So I thought that was nice and a big lesson, if we can incorporate it, to value things more, so that we don't have to say that, oh, I wish I had done that. I wish I could do this. So I think we will end the session here. If there's any comment, Chetna, Sujata ji, we haven't shared anything. If there's any comment, any reflection before we end, please do unmute and share. Otherwise, we'll see what we have to do next time. It's an unlimited topic, my God. It is, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Really,
thank you.
thanks a lot. I mean, for both of you for sharing, and it made a lot of sense actually. Even this last video was really nice. Live the day, like we always keep saying, the best you can. So really
Yeah.
nice. Thank you
It,
for everything.
it was really fast. I just played again.
Truth is, I now don't travel back at all, not even for the day. I just try to live every day as if I've deliberately come back to this one day, to enjoy it as if it was the full final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life.
So thank you. Thank you so much for joining in, and hoping, praying, aspiring, wishing that may these things that we hear, the things that we read, this path that we aspire to be on, may it reflect practically in my life. May I able to be the change I want to be. May this life count. May I live the best possible life that is my possibility. And may I not hide behind excuses of this and that, of whys and why not. So aspiring and praying this for everyone and myself, and thanking grace, thanking the divine for the ability of contemplation, reflection, talking, listening, and living. Thank you.
There's a very nice movie, Tuktam. It's very beautiful, the concept in Buddhism between life and death. They've made a movie as well. So it's very beautiful if somebody would like to see it. Capturates
How do you
whatever we
spell
were
it?
talking. Tukdam, Tukdam, between worlds. So
Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
it's a very powerful, yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Taru.
Thank you, Nandini.